Ladies and gentlemen, in this RedGameEtc.com video we have yet more news from Camp Sony. This time, Kaz Hirai is once again insisting that the PS4 is first and foremost a video games console. He does so in an interview, and the quote is exactly, "The most important thing we need to do is agree and understand that the PS4 is a great video games console that appeals to video gamers. If we miss that part, I don't think we get the initial establishment of the console. That formula has worked for us for all of our consoles, including the PS3, end quote. So, this is obviously serving a two-prong attack. The first is attacking Microsoft, and the second is to establish their own presence. Now, I don't think it's anything particularly new that Microsoft have been under criticism, not just from, of course, Sony, but from gamers as well, on their focus towards the TV aspect and the all-in-one entertainment console. And while, yes, some people absolutely love the idea, others have been more, well, critical about it. And of course, now Microsoft are trying to make amends, trying to assure us and point out that it's spending a rather large sum of money, $1 billion on games, and of course, pointing out to us that in the first year alone, there's going to be 15 exclusives. However, some people are still apprehensive because they still led with what many people say is the wrong move, and this combined with, of course, the rather rampant DRM concerns. However, Sony have had a few concerns as well of their own, but they've been very quick to address them in regards to the PS4. The biggest one is they continue to point out that unlike the Xbox One, they are not concerning themselves primarily with other functions. They are trying to just point out that they are concentrating on gaming. Kaz, meanwhile, is also keen to point out that they'll be providing other non-gaming content is an area we will reveal and talk about in the coming months, but first and foremost, it's a video games console. See, I would also like them to fill in some of these blanks as well. Now, this is very much opposite problem to Microsoft. I think many of us understand by now that yes, it is a video games console. We understand, we've seen Killzone, for example, and screenshots of other games and so on, and we understand that. But we also want to see what other stuff they've got. There are a number of mysteries, of course, pertaining to, say, the cloud-based nature of the system, which is one area that Microsoft are really focusing upon. And people want to know about the backwards compatibility. Microsoft have pretty much categorically said, yeah, not going to happen. And this even includes the Xbox Live Arcade title. So I think people want to know this stuff, but Sony right now are just playing that to their chest, and they're just playing on the strengths. Why? Because it's working for them. It's basically where it comes down to. But obviously there are going to be a number of questions that they do want answered, including some of the DRM questions, because Sony have ruled out certain things, but they haven't ruled out others. And so obviously there have been the Twitter campaigns and so on. But once again, I think people just want to know this stuff right now. So, but I am happy that Sony are focusing upon the gaming. I think that it will definitely help sway some of the early opinions. But the problem, of course, well, not problem, but the thing about gaming is that it is one of those mediums where news travels really fast. It's really that simple. In other words, that you could be really ahead on the rumors and the hype, but then just one or two small things can change the tide of battle really fast. And when that does, you start to lose momentum. So I'm hoping that Sony start to reveal certain things at key points. So obviously they've got completely different levels of expectations, I think, going into E3. Obviously E3 primarily is going to be about the games, but I think that I would like to see at least one or two small things regarding the PS4's other functionality. As for Microsoft, of course, we're going to be seeing a lot to do with the game, so I'm curious, very curious, since Sony are saying just how heavily they are concentrating and focusing upon the games, just what they've got in the works for the first year versus Microsoft. Anyway, I think that's just about it for this particular video. Hopefully you found it somewhat informative, and I will see you soon. Take care, and bye for now.